In the heart of Seoul, where ancient history meets modern life, stands a place of timeless beauty, the National Museum of Korea, a sanctuary of art, culture, and heritage, where 5,000 years of Korean history come alive beneath open skies. Morning unfolds gently over the heart of Seoul. The horizon glows with soft shades of amber and rose as the first rays of sunlight touch the skyline. The Han River.com in silver blue begins to shimmer with golden reflections, its surface rippling softly beneath the awakening sky. Bridges stretch gracefully across the water, carrying the first movements of the day, cars gliding silently, bicycles passing by, and early risers greeting the morning air. Above the city, the skyline rises, towers of glass and steel glinting in the new light, their reflections blending the ancient soul of Seoul with the pulse of modern life. In the distance, the gentle silhouette of mountains frames the city, a quiet reminder of Korea's eternal connection to nature. Temples, palaces, and traditional rooftops peek through the urban landscape, standing side by side with skyscrapers, creating a vision where past and present breathe together. As the city stirs, the air carries a sense of calm purpose. Amid this rhythm of awakening, the National Museum of Korea stands in quiet dignity near the river's edge. Its structure is both modern and timeless, wide, open, and harmoniously balanced. Smooth stone walls and long horizontal lines reflect the principles of Korean design: simplicity, balance, and respect for nature. The architecture seems to float above still waters, mirrored perfectly in the reflection pond that surrounds it. The soundscape softens, only the murmur of water, the whisper of leaves, and the distant hum of the city can be heard. Birds glide across the sky, circling the museum's gardens where morning light filters through trees. A gentle breeze brushes against the glass facade, carrying the scent of dew and earth. The museum appears almost like a temple of memory, a sanctuary where time slows down, where the ancient and the modern meet in peaceful coexistence. As the sun rises higher, its golden light spills across the museum's courtyards, illuminating the pathways and stone bridges that lead visitors inside. Each beam of sunlight seems to awaken history itself, stories carved in clay, painted in ink, and cast in bronze, waiting patiently within its walls. Here, surrounded by beauty, stillness, and the vast sky above, the National Museum of Korea stands not just as a building, but as a guardian of a nation's soul, a place where centuries of art, culture, and heritage find a timeless home. As visitors approach the museum, the world seems to slow. The wide stone pathways are lined with trees that sway gently in the wind, their green leaves dancing beneath the morning light. Ahead, the grand facade of the National Museum of Korea rises, not imposing, but calm, inviting, and balanced. Its long horizontal lines stretch outward like open arms, a quiet welcome to all who come seeking connection with history. Passing through the entrance, one steps into a vast sunlit atrium. Light streams through towering glass walls, scattering reflections across polished marble floors. The sound of footsteps echoes softly, blending with the distant murmur of visitors and the subtle hum of air flowing through the open space. Here, architecture itself becomes art, simple, spacious, and deeply harmonious, echoing the Korean principle of Immersive, living in balance between mountain and water. Between earth and sky, the air feels cool and still, carrying a faint scent of stone and wood. The space is designed to guide both body and spirit, to move slowly, to look deeply, to breathe. Every corner opens toward a story that stretches across millennia. From the polished handrails to the curved ceilings, every detail speaks of refinement and reverence. Visitors stand in quiet awe beneath the vast open hall. Above them, beams of sunlight drift through skylights, painting golden lines across the walls. The architecture feels alive. It breathes with the rhythm of the people who pass through it, a bridge between modern Seoul and the ancient kingdoms that once flourished on this land. To one side, a map of the Korean peninsula glows softly on the wall, a symbol of unity, of land and heritage intertwined, guided by subtle lighting and soft transitions. The path ahead leads deeper into the museum's heart, into the story of Korea itself. This is where the journey begins. A journey not only through time, but through identity. Each exhibit, each gallery, each artifact is a voice from another age, whispering through glass and light. Together, they form a living conversation between past and present, between those who came before and those who seek to understand. The National Museum of Korea is more than a place of display. It is a gateway, a threshold between what was and what remains. As the echoes of footsteps fade into the vastness of the hall, one can feel it, the pull of history, gentle yet powerful, calling every visitor to step forward into the story of a nation that has endured and evolved for thousands of years. The journey into Korea's past begins. In the quiet glow of the Prehistory and Ancient History Gallery, the lights dim slightly, drawing the eye to the soft illumination of ancient relics displayed behind crystal-clear glass. Here, time drifts backward, not by centuries, but by thousands of years, to the dawn of human life on the Korean peninsula. Stone tools rest on smooth platforms, their sharp edges still bearing the marks of the hands that shaped them. They are simple, unadorned, yet powerful silent witnesses to the ingenuity of early humans who once hunted, gathered, and built their first homes beneath open skies. Nearby, fragments of pottery, rough, earthy, and beautifully imperfect, reveal the beginnings of creativity. Each line, each curve etched into the clay carries a memory of survival, of warmth, of the first sparks of civilization. As the path winds deeper into the gallery, the world of the Bronze Age comes alive. Displays of bronze mirrors gleam softly under spotlights, their surfaces etched with intricate patterns that once reflected the faces of ancient leaders. Weapons, daggers, spears, and arrowheads rest alongside ceremonial bells and ornaments, symbols of both power and spirituality. These artifacts speak not just of warfare, but of craftsmanship, a society growing in skill, artistry, and faith. In one corner, a small model village shows how people once lived. Thatched roofs made from reeds, walls of packed earth, and open hearths glowing with fire. Figures of farmers till the land, while others weave nets and carve wooden tools. It is a glimpse into the rhythm of life thousands of years before the rise of kingdoms, a world bound by the cycles of the earth and sky. The air in the gallery feels still, as if holding its breath. A soft hum of ambient sound, echoing footsteps, the faint rustle of movement fills the background. It feels sacred, like standing inside time itself. Then, as the exhibits progress, the transition to the Iron Age marks a turning point. Iron tools gleam under gentle light, stronger, sharper, and more refined. From these objects, one can sense the beginning of organized society, communities connected by trade, craftsmanship, and shared purpose. Each display tells a fragment of a larger story, how humans learned to work with nature, to forge, to build, and to create. The artifacts are more than objects. They are memories cast in stone and metal, carrying the voice of ancestors who dreamed, struggled, and thrived. Through these early relics, the visitor begins to understand something profound, that civilization is not born overnight. It rises slowly, layer by layer, from fire, from soil, from belief. And here, in the quiet halls of the museum, those beginnings still live, preserved in silence, glowing softly beneath the glass, whispering the timeless story of humanity's first steps on the land that would one day become Korea. From the mists of prehistory, the Korean peninsula awakens into the age of kingdoms, Goguryeo and Silla, three powerful realms that shaped the destiny of a nation. As the visitor moves deeper into the museum, the galleries unfold like chapters in a living chronicle. Walls adorned with murals, gleaming gold crowns, and ancient armor speak of courage, artistry, and identity. Soft lighting glows over a vast mural from Goguryeo, one of the earliest and mightiest kingdoms. Its colors, though faded with time, still pulse with life. Warriors on horseback galloping across painted fields, dancers swirling in vibrant robes, and mythical creatures soaring through the sky. These tomb paintings are more than decoration. They are spiritual guides, pathways between the living and the afterlife. The artistry reflects a civilization that valued honor, movement, and vitality, a people who saw life and death as part of one grand eternal cycle. Nearby, the gentle elegance of Baekje reveals a different soul. Baekje's artifacts speak in the language of refinement and beauty. Golden crowns shimmer under soft light, their delicate branches shaped like the leaves of sacred trees, slender, balanced, almost weightless. Each piece of jewelry, each ornament reflects an eye for harmony, symmetry, and grace. Baekje was a kingdom of artistry, bridging the cultures of East Asia, a beacon of creativity that reached across seas to influence Japan and beyond. Then, the gallery opens into the splendor of Silla, the kingdom known as the Land of Gold. Here, the display radiates with warmth and brilliance. Golden belts, earrings, and royal regalia dazzle with intricate filigree, their craftsmanship astonishing in precision. Every curve and detail reveals a mastery that transcends time, artistry born from devotion and pride. In the soft glow of light, one can imagine the royal processions, the temples of stone and wood, and the echoes of Buddhist chants that once filled the valleys of ancient Jeonju together. These kingdoms forged the first cultural foundations of Korea. They were rivals in power, but partners in legacy, each contributing art, language, religion, and philosophy that would define the peninsula for centuries. The halls of the museum seemed to hum with their spirit, the energy of builders, dreamers, and visionaries who sought not just to rule, but to create. At the center of the gallery stands a massive stone guardian, a statue from the early Silla period. Carved with bold lines and serene expression, its eyes seem to follow every visitor, as if guarding the memories of the past. Around it, the artifacts whisper stories of battles and alliances, of kings who united lands and artists who immortalize belief through their hands. The Three Kingdoms period was not merely an age of division, it was an age of growth, of transformation. From their rivalries came progress, from their conflicts came unity, and from there, art came a legacy that would endure for over 1,000 years. As the visitor exits this gallery, they leave behind the echoes of drums, the shimmer of gold, and the vibrant murals of heroes and gods. Ahead lies the next chapter, a time of harmony, faith, and creativity that would shape the soul of Korea forever. The story of Korea now enters an era of harmony, the time of unified Silla. When the peninsula stood united under one crown, the galleries opened into a space of soft gold and serene light, mirroring the peace and refinement that flourished in this remarkable age. It was a time when art, religion, and philosophy merged into one expression of spiritual grace. The visitor is greeted by the serene faces of Buddhist sculptures, stone figures carved with infinite calm and compassion. Each curve, each fold of the robe, each gentle smile reveals mastery born from faith. These are not just statues, they are manifestations of enlightenment, the reflection of a people seeking balance between body, mind, and spirit. The air feels still here, filled with quiet reverence. The light caresses the contours of ancient stone, bringing the divine to life once more. Nearby, the bell of King Seongdeok, a replica of the legendary Emil bell, stands as a symbol of spiritual devotion and technical brilliance. Its surface glows with patterns of dragons and lotus blossoms, sacred symbols of purity and power. In the imagination, one can hear its deep, resonant tone, a sound that once echoed across valleys, calling both monks and commoners to reflection. The unified Silla period was a golden age not only of religion, but of intellect, trade, and cultural exchange. That as the visitor moves forward, the story transitions to the Goryeo dynasty, an age that carried the beauty of Silla into new heights of artistic perfection. Here, the light shifts slightly, taking on the soft jade hues of Goryeo Celadon, one of Korea's greatest artistic treasures. Rows of ceramic vases, bowls, and incense burners line the displays, glowing with a translucent green sheen that seems to hold a piece of the sea and sky. Their forms are elegant, their surfaces smooth and pure, often adorned with subtle inlays of white cranes, clouds, and lotus petals. Each Celadon piece feels alive, calm, yet full of quiet power. They reflect the Goryeo people's deep connection to nature, to beauty found in restraint and imperfection. In their simplicity lies harmony. In their color lies serenity. Beyond ceramics, the Buddhist paintings and sutra manuscripts of Goryeo shimmer with gold and indigo, their intricate lines illustrating sacred texts that once guided the faithful. Some were written with powdered gold ink on indigo-dyed paper, works so delicate they seem to glow from within. Each line, each stroke, is an act of devotion. On this era, Korea's identity blossomed, open to the world, yet deeply rooted in its own soul. Traders and monks traveled between Goryeo, China, and Japan, carrying not only goods but also ideas. Through these exchanges, Korean art became both distinct and universal, a mirror of human creativity guided by spirit. In one quiet corner of the gallery, a small bronze Buddha rests within a glass case. The folds of his robe fall naturally, the expression on his face serene and eternal. As visitors gaze upon it, time seems to dissolve, as if the centuries between then and now no longer exist. It is in moments like these that the museum becomes a bridge through time, connecting hearts across 1,000 years. The unified Silla and Goryeo periods represent more than just political eras. They embody the flowering of Korean thought, beauty, and compassion, an age when art became prayer and faith became form. The air here carries a soft glow of peace, an echo of a time when the pursuit of harmony was life itself. As visitors step onward, leaving behind the jade-green light of the Goryeo Celadon, the path ahead grows brighter. It leads to the final and longest chapter of Korea's dynastic story, the Joseon dynasty, where philosophy, scholarship, and artistry reached new heights under the guiding spirit of Confucian ideals. The light shifts once again as the visitor steps into the next great chapter of Korean history, the Joseon dynasty. Here, the air feels refined, deliberate, and calm, much like the philosophy that guided this era for more than 500 years. The gallery unfolds in tones of ivory, blue, and soft gray, reflecting the purity and discipline that defined Joseon's spirit. This was an age shaped by Confucian ideals, a time when wisdom, humility, and respect for order formed the foundation of society. In every artifact, one can see that sense of balance. Art created not for excess, but for meaning. Beauty born not from luxury, but from harmony. On the walls hang calligraphy scrolls, written by scholars whose brushstrokes were both artistic expression and spiritual exercise. Each line of ink flows with purpose, every curve a reflection of the artist's state of mind. The characters speak of virtue, patience, and the value of inner peace. Calligraphy was not merely writing, it was meditation made visible. Nearby ink paintings capture mist-covered mountains and flowing rivers, timeless scenes rendered with astonishing simplicity. A few brushstrokes create vast landscapes, evoking the quiet strength of nature. These are not depictions of a single place. They are visions of balance between humanity and the natural world, a central idea of the Joseon mind. In glass cases, the world of the royal court comes alive. Delicate porcelain vases stand tall, painted in cobalt blue with motifs of clouds, dragons, and cranes. Their surfaces glow under gentle light, cool and pure, the very essence of restraint. Each piece of white porcelain, known as baek, embodies Joseon's ideals, elegant, functional, and filled with quiet dignity. across the gallery. An exhibit of hanbok traditional Korean garments displays the grace of daily life in this era. Royal robes shimmer with gold thread and intricate embroidery, while simpler cotton garments represent the lives of scholars and farmers. Their colors are soft yet meaningful: indigo, jade, and ivory, each chosen to reflect the wearer's status and season. Through fabric and form, the Joseon people expressed their philosophy that beauty lives in modesty and dignity in simplicity. Further along, visitors encounter furniture and crafts, carved from wood, lacquered to perfection, inlaid with mother of Overo that glimmers like starlight. These were not mere objects of comfort, they were extensions of life's rhythm, crafted with patience, designed to endure, and built with deep respect for natural materials. The Joseon dynasty was also a time of scholarship. Books written in elegant scripts sit open beneath the glass, their pages filled with philosophical writings, poetry, and scientific observation. These texts represent a nation that valued thought as much as faith, a people who sought knowledge as a path to harmony. And yet, beyond royal courts and scholars, the heart of Joseon beat in the lives of ordinary people: farmers, potters, artisans, and families. Their daily tools, kitchenware, and handmade crafts are displayed with equal honor, reminding visitors that history is not only written by kings, but also by hands that worked the soil and shaped the clay. The soundscape here is gentle, soft string music and the faint brush of wind chimes. It invites reflection. In the calm rhythm of this gallery, the spirit of Joseon becomes clear, a pursuit of order, wisdom, and beauty guided by humanity itself. The dynasty's legacy endures not through power, but through grace, through art that speaks quietly yet profoundly across time. Every painting, every porcelain vase, every written word carries the same message: that true beauty lies not in grandeur, but in balance, not in excess, but in understanding. As visitors move toward the next gallery, the light brightens once more. It signals a transition from the philosophy and stillness of Joseon to the boundless creativity of Korean art in all its evolving forms. The story of Korea continues, alive and vibrant, ready to meet the modern world while carrying the wisdom of its past. The journey through time now leads to a realm where history and imagination merge. The Painting and Calligraphy Gallery, the heart of Korea's artistic soul. Here, silence carries meaning. Every line, every brushstroke, every breath of ink on silk holds a world within it. This is where art becomes a voice, soft yet powerful, quiet yet eternal. The room glows in gentle shades of amber and ivory. Spotlights illuminate scrolls that hang gracefully from the walls, their textures shimmering under the soft glow. The scent of parchment and aged ink seems to linger in the air, a whisper of the centuries that have passed through these works. At first glance, the paintings appear simple: mountains, rivers, bamboo groves, and mist. But the more one looks, the more the world inside them unfolds. Each mountain peak is not merely a form, but a meditation. Each brushstroke carries rhythm, energy, and breath. The emptiness between the lines is as important as the ink itself, a space where imagination lives. A painting of a lonely scholar beneath a pine tree invites the viewer into his solitude. He gazes across a valley of mist, a small figure in an endless landscape. Through this image, the painter expresses not loneliness, but peace, a moment of union between man and nature. Such art reflects the heart of Korean philosophy, that harmony with the world is the truest form of strength. Nearby, another scroll displays a grove of bamboo swaying in invisible wind. The stalks bend but never break, a symbol of resilience, purity, and moral integrity. The brushwork is swift, confident, and alive, each stroke carrying the painter's inner spirit. It is as though the artist's thoughts have taken physical form. Then there are the calligraphy pieces. Masterpieces of controlled freedom, large black characters sweep across white paper with fluid grace, each word infused with emotion. These are not just writings. They are living expressions of philosophy, every curve, every pressure of the brush, a reflection of the human soul in motion. To see them is to glimpse the personality and heart of their creators. In another section, folk paintings add color and joy to the gallery. Vibrant tigers, mischievous magpies, and flowering trees fill the space with laughter and life. These works once hung in the homes of ordinary people, bringing luck, happiness, and protection. Unlike the refined brushwork of scholars, these paintings burst with energy, a reminder that art belongs to everyone. Through the centuries, Korean artists found beauty not in perfection, but in balance and they painted the world as it is, fleeting, fragile, yet profoundly beautiful. Their works do not shout, they whisper. They invite contemplation, not admiration. They ask the viewer to pause, breathe, and feel. Standing here, one realizes that Korean art is not merely seen, it is experienced. It reaches beyond time and language, carrying the heartbeat of generations who sought meaning through simplicity. The power of Korean art lies not in its grandeur, but in its silence, in the way it speaks directly to the heart without a single word. As visitors move toward the exit of the gallery, the images linger in the mind: the bend of bamboo, the flow of ink, the calm gaze of the scholar. Each one leaves a quiet echo, a reflection of the timeless spirit that continues to inspire Korean creativity today. Beyond these walls, the story will turn once again from the world of artistic expression to the sacred, where spirituality and beauty unite. Ahead lies the Buddhist art gallery, a sanctuary where faith becomes form and enlightenment finds shape in stone and gold. The next gallery opens into a space of deep tranquility, a world of devotion, silence, and golden light. This is the Buddhist art gallery, one of the most sacred and awe-inspiring sections of the National Museum of Korea. The atmosphere shifts instantly. The air feels still, reverent, almost timeless, as if every sound has softened out of respect for what lies within. At the center of the hall, a great seated Buddha rests in quiet meditation. His face is calm and compassionate, lips curved into a gentle smile that seems to transcend all sorrow. The stone is smooth and pale, worn softly by the centuries. His hands form the mudra of enlightenment, fingers touching lightly, symbolizing unity between heaven and earth. Around him, light from above spills gently, forming a halo that feels almost divine. The space is filled with subtle sound, the faint hum of air, the quiet footsteps of visitors, and somewhere distant, the soft ringing of a temple bell. It feels as though the hall itself is breathing, slow, rhythmic, eternal. On the surrounding walls and pedestals stand bodhisattvas, carved with exquisite detail. Their postures are graceful, their expressions full of compassion and thought. Some wear crowns adorned with lotus petals, others hold symbolic offerings, pearls, flowers, or sacred scrolls. They are embodiments of mercy, guides for souls seeking peace. Nearby, a display of Buddhist reliquaries glimmers beneath the lights. Tiny golden containers that once held sacred relics or ashes of enlightened beings. Their surfaces are decorated with lotus motifs and intricate filigree, each pattern made with devotion and precision. To look upon them is to see faith made tangible, gold transformed into prayer. Further along, fragments of temple pagodas and stone stupors reveal the grandeur of ancient Korean temples. Though weathered by centuries, their carvings of lotus blossoms, dragons, and celestial beings still carry a living spirit. Through these remnants, visitors can imagine the great temples that once stood among mountains, where monks chanted sutras beneath fluttering banners and the scent of incense drifted through morning mist. In one corner, a darkened alcove glows softly, home to Buddhist paintings from the Goryeo and Joseon periods. Rich reds, blues, and gold leaf shimmer in the dim light, depicting Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion, surrounded by halos of radiant light. Every figure is drawn with care, every expression filled with infinite patience and love. These paintings are not mere works of art, they are meditations made visible, expressions of enlightenment itself. As the visitor walks slowly through this sacred space, there is a sense of being suspended between worlds, between the material and the spiritual, between silence and song. The boundaries of time fade. What remains is presence, stillness, peace, and a quiet understanding of life's impermanence. The Buddhist art gallery is more than a collection of statues and relics. It is a journey inward. It reminds us that beauty can arise from faith, that devotion can shape not only temples but the human soul. Each sculpture, each relic, each golden gleam tells the same story, the search for compassion, wisdom, and enlightenment that has guided Korean hearts for more than 1,000 years. As the visitor steps toward the exit, the golden light fades slowly behind them. Outside, the world feels different, lighter, calmer, touched by serenity. The path ahead leads from sacred stillness to modern renewal, to a space where tradition meets technology, and the museum's timeless mission embraces the future. Stepping out from the tranquil halls of ancient devotion, the visitor enters a world transformed, a space where the past and future meet in perfect harmony. This is the modern heart of the National Museum of Korea, where tradition is not confined to memory, but reborn through innovation and imagination. Natural light floods through vast glass walls. Reflections ripple across polished stone floors, blending the serenity of the museum's architecture with the rhythm of the living world outside. Beyond the windows, the gardens stretch wide, ponds shimmering under sunlight, willows swaying gently in the wind. The museum feels alive, breathing the same air as the city beyond its walls. Here, history and technology merge to tell stories anew. Digital screens flicker softly with life animations of ancient paintings, 3D reconstructions of lost temples, virtual walkthroughs of royal tombs. Visitors trace glowing paths on interactive displays, watching centuries unfold beneath their fingertips. A single touch brings forgotten worlds to light, the sound of a temple bell, the whisper of a scholar's brush, the music of a courtly dance revived once more. In the Children's Museum, young minds explore with wonder. They build miniature pagodas, uncover hidden relics in simulated archaeological digs, and dress in royal robes to learn the stories of kings and queens. It is here that the next generation begins to understand that history is not just something to study, it is something to feel, to live, and to carry forward. Walking deeper into the modern galleries, visitors encounter a space dedicated to global exchange, where Korea's culture meets the world. Artifacts from distant lands stand beside local treasures, reflecting the museum's belief that art has no borders. Through shared exhibitions, the museum builds bridges between East and West, ancient and modern. Tradition and technology. One exhibit shows ancient calligraphy projected onto a flowing wall of light, the ink strokes expanding like ripples in water. Another displays ceramics that respond to motion, glowing softly when approached, art that senses, art that breathes. Every installation reminds the viewer that the museum is not a place of stillness, but of evolution. It honors the past, yet reaches toward the future, carrying with it the eternal spirit of Korea. The museum's architectural design mirrors this philosophy. Its wide, horizontal structure symbolizes openness, a hand extended to the world. The reflection pool outside mirrors the building perfectly, creating a sense of balance between sky and earth, between the visible and the unseen. As evening falls, the museum glows softly in the dusk, a beacon of knowledge, beauty, and peace. Within its walls, time ceases to be linear. It folds gracefully, allowing ancient kings to stand beside digital artists, and stone Buddhas to share space with modern light. This is not merely preservation. It is resurrection, a living dialogue between eras. The National Museum of Korea stands today not just as a guardian of history, but as a visionary institution, one that reminds us that culture is not something we inherit and lock away. It is something we nurture, reinterpret, and pass on like a flame that must never die. And as visitors step back into the open air, the city of Seoul stretches before them, glowing beneath the same stars that once guided ancient kings and monks. The museum behind them stands silent yet alive, its reflection glimmering on the still water. It is a place where time touches eternity, where Korea's soul continues to shine, forever illuminating the heart of its people. Evening descends over Seoul. The sky turns to shades of violet and gold, and the first stars shimmer faintly above the Han River. The city hums softly in the distance, a symphony of lights, voices, and motion. Amid this modern rhythm, the National Museum of Korea stands serene, its reflection gliding across the still surface of its surrounding pool. The day has ended, but the stories within its walls continue to breathe. Inside, the galleries grow quiet. The last visitors wander slowly through the dim halls, their footsteps echoing softly like whispers of time. The relics, stone, bronze, silk, and gold, rest once more beneath the tender glow of evening light. They seem almost alive, suspended between memory and eternity. Every artifact, every sculpture, every brushstroke preserved here is more than history. It is a voice that speaks across millennia, reminding us who we were and who we are. From the first clay pots of the Neolithic age to the refined beauty of Goryeo, from the serenity of Buddhist statues to the vibrant visions of Joseon art, the museum gathers the fragments of Korea's soul and binds them into a single, timeless story. Outside, the lights of the museum begin to shimmer in the water. Lanterns glow softly along the pathways, guiding visitors toward the gardens. A gentle breeze stirs the lotus leaves floating in the ponds. In the distance, the city lights reflect on the horizon, a living reminder that the world moves ever forward. And yet, here, within this sanctuary of stone and silence, time feels beautifully still. The National Museum of Korea is more than a building. It is a living bridge connecting past and present, memory and imagination. It stands as a guardian of heritage, a temple of learning, and a beacon of peace. Its halls echo, not with noise, but with understanding, an understanding that the spirit of a nation does not fade with time, but grows stronger with every story it keeps alive. For the people of Korea, and for all who come to see, the museum is a promise that their culture, art, and history will never be forgotten. A promise that future generations will continue to look back with pride, and forward with hope. As night settles over Seoul, the museum stands illuminated, a jewel of light beneath the stars. Its calm reflection stretches across the water, merging earth and sky, past and present. And in that stillness, one truth endures, that history is not behind us. It lives here, now, forever, in the heart of the National Museum of Korea.